Well, today I wanted to talk on a very important, a very crucial issue. It's a very important topic. To be very precise, it's basically about young and old people. I, being a young guy, always strive hard to remain young all the time by following certain disciplined routines. Disciplined routines as in getting up at the right time, getting to eat healthy food, always making sure that I exercise in such a manner that I remain healthy, always striving to ensure that I get to work at the right time. I mean, if I follow all the important routines, disciplined routines of life, I will always ensure that I remain healthy and hearty all the time. So, the most important thing to remain healthy is to follow healthy and disciplined routines. For example, exercising regularly or daily on a daily basis. If we exercise, we would ensure that we keep all the diseases, all the so if we follow certain disciplined routines, we would always ensure that we are always healthy. We will remain healthy and hearty all the time. So basically, being a young guy, I do look forward to get old one day, but then at the same time, what I always ensure is that I follow certain disciplined routines, and that always makes sure that I always remain healthy and hearty. I always remain young, to be very precise. But people do get old, and when people get old, they do pass through loads of problems, loads of issues. The most important issue with them is that they become very annoying, very irritating at times, and they are basically, should I say that they become very short-tempered at times when people grow old, when they become, when they start aging, they show signs of getting irritating at times. They become very nagging at times. They have this ability, or rather should I say inability, to move from one place to another. They become very weak physically, should I say health-wise. Apart from these, if we look at the advantages of a person who is very old or who is aging, is that that person would be the most favored person and the most experienced person in the workplace. If a person is more senior age-wise, he would be the most favored person. He would be the most experienced person in the workplace. He would be carrying tons of experience behind him, and that would be the most important factor of his getting promoted to a more higher position in the workplace. Apart from that, he would also be the person who would be getting the maximum or the much better pay than the other subordinates or than other workmen at his workplace. So I thought this is one of the most important benefit of an old person, of a person who is aging. At the same time, an old person is at times seen as someone who is quite unproductive, who is not able to give his 100% to his assigned job, and I thought that is one of the most loophole, or rather shortcoming, of a person who is getting old by every passing day. In fact, every young guy by every passing day gets old, but then person who is aging, who is basically very old, would be prone to this sort of shortcomings. When a person gets old, basically two things happen. Either he retires from his work, or he continues to work. When a person retires from his work, he basically is seen as a person who has loads of experience behind him, and he's the one who could be the future mentor for a particular organization or for a or for any other company. So I thought a retired person at times can be a huge bonus, a huge asset for any organization who really aspires to make it large. On the other hand, when a person who is old and continues to work, he's as I said, enjoys lots of benefits, like in the form of promotions. An old person is seen as a person who has loads of knowledge and experience behind him, and he can come in handy in delivering any important assignment, any important job. And I thought there are certain positions in government and semi-government as well as private organizations which calls for old people, rather people who have lots of experience, as I said, who have professional experience, who have educational experience as well, academic wise, who is better off than their other subordinates or than their other partners. They are basically preferred in certain organizations. So I thought that is the most important benefit of getting old. But that's not one of the reasons why I would like to get old. I would always like to remain young by following certain routines, as I have already mentioned that by following certain disciplined routines like exercising regularly, eating healthy food, going to work at right time, coming back at the right time, giving my 100% at work. And I always expect my employer to be polite enough to pay the dues that I deserve from his side. And that's the reason I would always prefer to be young. And I thought being old is not at all a matter of taboo or matter of shame, should I say that, because it's but quite natural. Well, as far as I'm concerned, if I get old, or rather when I get old at one stage of my life, I would always prefer to work, maybe not from the workplace, from my home, from my house, or from any organization, for any organization like the United Nations. I would always prefer to work for those sort of organization, for any international or national organization that really recognizes my aspirations, my skills, my professional experience, whatever I do have at this or at that I would have at that point of time. If I get old, I would always strive hard to remain as young as I can, physically, mentally, and internally. Whatever I have in there, I would always strive hard to remain young. Thank you.